Perhaps the person who was originally improvising the words of this song had been jilted. The verses go on to say, it caused all of my hair to fall out too. Obviously, I've been through a jilting. We're talking about walking songs today from Gaelic Scotland, and it's not W-A-L-K-I-N-G, it's W-A-U-L-K-I-N-G. Walking is a process that's done to the cloth if it's hand woven, and when you take it off the loom, there are certain things that need to be done. The cloth is still very oily with lanolin, and so you need to wash some of that lanolin out of the cloth. It's also important to set the vegetable dyes, because in the old days there were no chemical dyes. The dyes were made from roots and berries and leaves and flowers and lichen scraped off the rocks. So some kind of acid was needed to set these vegetable dyes and wash the lanolin out of the cloth. And what they had was uric acid from human urine. And so human urine was collected in a tub before a walking, and then on the day of the walking it was mixed with boiling hot water, and that solution was then used to soak the cloth, and the cloth was taken out of the tub. It was squeezed out, still wet though, and put on a big table or a door or something, a wooden surface. And in Scotland this was women's work. The women would sit around this board with the cloth on it, and they would beat the cloth either with their hands or with their feet. And the beating of the cloth had another effect on the cloth. It caused the fibers to shrink in and fit more tightly together. So then the cloth was more weatherproof, kept out the cold and the wet better. So all of this process was something that was done to every piece of woolen cloth that was woven in the Highlands and Islands in the old days. Work songs all over the world make the work lighter and make it go faster. And in the Scottish Highlands, in the Scottish Gaeltacht, there was certainly no exception to this. There were songs that were sung for every sort of work you can imagine: rowing boats, hoisting sails, scything oats or barley, and of course walking the Tweed. Walking songs were sung over the cloth as the work was done. As the women beat the cloth against the board, they sang songs, and a lot of it was improvised. The lines were improvised as they sang. There was a chorus, and everybody joined in on the chorus, but the leader of the song might improvise a story. And eventually these stories kind of were set, but probably the origin of the walking song is someone who's creative and somewhat poetic, making up verses around the different people that are sitting at the table, or maybe talking about the gossip in the village and what's been going on lately. So work songs have a very interesting origin. The walking song Mille Madafashk Edruv means 1,000 curses on love. So perhaps the person who was originally improvising the words of this song had been jilted. We can imagine. But the verses go on to say 1,000 shrouds. Actually, the word for a curse is a shroud. 1,000 shrouds on love. It split the heart in my body, and it caused all of my hair to fall out too. Obviously, I've been through a jilting. And it goes on to say that, after this terrible thing that's happened to me, there are certain people that I definitely will not date. But at the end of the song, it does talk about a very fine hunter. And of course, hunting was a very important skill. This hunter will go to the mountain, and he'll bring back lots of deer and lots of venison for the table.
Mille Madafashkedagu Lohidi Asam Hina Hukka Chloi Ohi you a hoko Ohi you a Ohi you Hurdy you a hoko Asam hina hukachlui, o hi di you, skalche mochri anam chaum, o hi you a hoko, o hi you hudi you a hoko, skalche mochri anam chaum, o hi di you, ruaskale falt far mochin, o hi you a hoko. O hi you, hudi you a hoko. Ruaskale falt far mochin, o hi di you, chachich mile machen tuv, o hi you a hoko. O hi you, hudi you a hoko. Chachich mile machen tuv, o hi di you, naiche le machkevud, o hi you a hoko, o hi you a hudi you a hoko, naiche le machkevud, o hi di you, varag fitta kiskar kruich, o hi you a hoko. O hi you, hudi you a hoko. Varag fitakis karkruich, o hi di you, yalape vegnan garachas kul, o hi you a hoko. O hi you, hudi you a hoko. O hi you, hudi you a hoko.
In the walking songs especially, what we use for the chorus are what are called vocables. They may not actually mean anything in Gaelic, they're just sounds. And if you think about Christmas carols in English, we sing vocables every Christmas when we sing fa la 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 la. It's the same thing in Scottish Gaelic songs. Vocables are just sounds that carry the melody and then lead up to the next verse where the story is actually told. But in this song, 1,000 Curses on Love, the soloist at the table starts out by singing Mila Mara Fashkedergu, which is 1,000 Curses on Love, and then everybody would join in just sounds, it's just part of the chorus. Asam hina hukka chloi. This love affair, this thing that I've been jilted from, has caused me great exhaustion and misery. And those are vocables. It's just more chorus singing done with sounds. And then there's a little bit of more chorus that comes after that. All vocables, everybody's singing. So that verse and chorus goes like this. Mila mara fashkedegu, asam hina hukka chloi,